All right, so let's take a look at questions where you're trying to use cosine law to find an angle. Okay, how is that going to be used? So first of all, when can you use cosine law to find an angle? The scenario would be in a triangle where all three sides are given to you and they're asking for an angle. So once again, sine law would not be able to help us here. And if we know all three sides, we can find a missing angle then using the cosine law for finding angles. And there's a version right here to help us find the angle. It says cos of angle A is equal to b squared plus c squared minus a squared all over 2bc. Okay, just make sure that you treat all of this together as one number. And if you're going to input this in your calculator, be sure to use brackets around here. Otherwise, you will get a completely wrong answer, because if you don't type in the answers, your calculator will think it's dividing this and this, some sort of this version will happen. Okay, because the calculator doesn't know what actually is a numerator and denominator. We can tell it by putting brackets around it. So again, this is given to you on your formula sheet. We can always rewrite the formulas for B and C as well. So if you'll notice in this one, if it's A, it goes the other two sides minus a squared over bc. So in this case, it would be then a squared plus c squared minus b squared over 2ac. Okay, and if this is c, if we're looking for cos of c, it would be then a squared plus b squared minus c squared over 2ab. So that's the versions that you can use for these triangles as well. These are not given on your formula sheet. So what I tend to do is I always rewrite my triangle so that I'm always solving for A. That way I only need to memorize or use the one version that's given to me on the formula sheet. But it's up to you how you want to handle that. Let's actually use this formula in the question. So we're looking at example number 6. So in example number 6, they have said determine the largest angle in triangle ABC, and they've given us the dimensions. So I'm just going to draw a triangle any way you want. Call it ABC any way you want. And then because this is angle A, this must be side A. Angle B, so this is my side B. And angle C, which makes this my side C. Okay, now this one says find the largest angle. So what would happen is, if you don't think logically about this question, you might end up doing a lot of work. So before you start going and saying, I'm going to find every single angle A, B, and C, and then just look which one is the biggest, well, you will be right. You can do that, but it will take too much time. So think about it. Whichever is the largest side in here, which is this one here, it has to be made by the largest angle. Remember what we talked about? The bigger the angle, the bigger the opposite side will be, because that's how it's opening that much wider. So I already know that if this is my biggest side, I should be looking to solve for this angle right here. It will be the biggest angle. So then that means I'm doing 1/3 of the work. Okay, so I'm going to set it up as cos of angle A equals b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. Make sure you have your brackets around your numerator and your denominator. So b is 8.9 squared plus c is 12.6 squared minus 14.7 squared. This all needs to be done collectively. All of this divided by 2 times 8.9 times 12.6. So if you're not using a graphing calculator, you want to find the value of your numerator and denominator separately and then divide them. Okay, or if you can and if you're comfortable with using your graphing calculator, you can do it all together as long as we put brackets. So bracket 8.9 squared plus 12.6 squared minus 14.7 squared, close the bracket, divide, and now your denominator. Within the bracket again, very, very important, 2 times 8.9 times 12.6 bracket. So this will give you an answer, 0.97566. So that would be for cos of A. So if I want to find angle A, you have to do the anti-cos of the answer you just got before. So if I want to use that exact answer, I just go anti-cos, and then again go second, and this sign right here, negative sign, to get my answer. Or you can physically type in with 4 decimal places, and it will give you my angle, which is 84 degrees. I'm rounding it to the nearest degree, which is 84. Again, if you're not getting the right answer, you're like, Nilo, I did everything right. Number 1, did you put brackets around both of them? Number 2, did you do the anti-sign? Those are the 2 common mistakes. So if you can catch them, most probably that would be it. Okay?